This is not a podcast episode concept. This is just venting. My son is hurting. And me and my ex-husband are separated. And he has his own family and how they run their household. Now, we grew up, I'm in my 30s, so we pretty much grew up in a time where discipline, people got beat with belts, you got hit, and that was a form of discipline. And my ex-husband, he doesn't want our son to pretty much grow up without certain things instilled in him. So it protects him because it's an uphill battle when it comes for little black boys and black men. And I get that. I understand that. But now there's becoming this blurred line where my son does not know that this is a discipline that has love backing it. He just sees it as this person does not like me. And what happened tonight broke my heart. And I am perplexed on how to even approach this. But I was playing around as I usually do with my son. He's 7, so he is at a point in his life where he still does not have the capacity to comprehend the reasoning behind things, but he definitely knows his emotions, and he's very in tune to them. And I was playing around with him, and pretty much it's like 12 o'clock right now, and I'm just like, go to bed, right? So at that point in time, it was like 10:30, and I'm like, you gotta go to bed. We gotta wake up early. I got things to do tomorrow morning. And he would not go to bed, and he was being kind of fresh. So at first it was just, it's just like, you need to stop. And I tend to talk in random accents. That's just my thing. That's how I have fun. But it just comes out. And I'm like this Trinidadian woman, or wherever she's from. I don't know exactly the location in the Caribbean where she's from, but she got an accent, right? I was playing around with him, and I was like, little boy, end up like play fighting with him and like beating him up or whatever, and giving him like little love tap punches or whatever, and he's just like joking around. And then I slipped up and I played a little too far. I took my phone, the back of my phone, and I gave him a love tap on his forehead. And the outburst that he had in reaction to it was so alarming, because the tears were coming down, and he was like, do not hit me with your phone. And I'm like, what the hell? So he's like, don't hit me with the phone. My dad hits me really hard with the phone. He hits me too hard, and it hurts. It hurts. Don't hit me with the phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Because obviously it literally it pulled a cord in him. And he was like, my father, he hits me too hard. He hits me so hard. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, Oliver, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to hit you, like, hard with the phone. Like, I didn't think I hit you that hard with the phone. I'm sorry. And he's like, you didn't hit me hard, but he does. He does hit me hard. And then he's just like, he does not like me. And it broke my heart in two, because it was just like, I know that the reasoning as to why my ex-husband disciplines him, but I don't think he sees how much it actually affects Oliver. And my son, sometimes my ex-husband will call me on the phone on a weekend and be like, he doesn't want to eat anything over here. And he has like a whole wife and like a whole set of kids. But he doesn't want to eat his wife's food. He doesn't even want to use the bathroom. He doesn't poop at his house. And when I went to go see my father for like for for like a week, I was speaking to Oliver a lot, FaceTiming him, and my ex-husband was just like, he does not want to use the bathroom. Only wants to use the bathroom at your house. And I'm like, what is going on with this little boy? Doesn't want to pee. He doesn't want to poop, and he doesn't want to eat at your house. So I'm speaking to Oliver a lot, and my son is just like, I don't like the way your food tastes. But then I'm starting to like really speak with him and kind of like just like unpack everything and just kind of just layer it out just to find out what the core of it really is. And even though he didn't tell me all of it, I kind of pieced it together. So it seems like my son didn't want to eat something at one point in time. I don't know what exactly happened, but the way it was explained to me through my ex-husband was that he started crying at the table. He was gagging, and then the way to describe it was he's crazy, like he's acting all crazy. And if the first thing, because I'm very big on mental health, and I'm very big on breaking stigmas when it comes to the association with that. And the first thing it kind of triggered it off was just like, why did you call him crazy? I think anybody that you kind of put a meal in front of them, and if they don't want to, if it's not appetizing to them, and you're forcing them like you have to eat this, they're gonna probably gag. Like they're gonna like, I don't want to do this. Like they're probably gonna cry. He's 7, so emotions are very, very big. Compared to an adult can read, has more reasoning capacity, so that they'll probably talk their way out of it. But a kid will cry, a kid will gag. And I remember when I was little, I had to eat beets. I hate beets to this day, but I need beets to keep my body healthy. But I'm trying to embrace beets without that connotation of that memory with it. When I was younger, I was at my grandma's house, and she always like boiled beets all by itself, and she's just like, you gotta eat it. And I was just like, I'm not eating this shit. But it was just like my father, he was very, very military, and he had a way of using intimidation tactics to make you there's going to be trouble if you don't. And I remember being like, I didn't want to eat it, and I tried to take one bite of it, and I ended up throwing up all my food in a plate, and it was so bad. And he was just like, you're gonna have to eat that. I was just like, are you kidding me? And absolutely everybody in my grandmother's house, literally, I'm looking for anyone to save me at this point, absolutely everybody turned their back like, well, that's discipline. And I'm just like, no one's gonna help me. And I felt for Oliver because it brought me back to that. And I was just like, I can imagine how you felt. Like, no one's there to help you. You don't want to eat this food. Even though you need food so you can be healthy. My son needs to eat food. He's to the point where I now have to make meals to send to my ex-husband's house on the weekends. So I know that my son is eating something. That's wild to me. But it's just like, he needs to eat. So it's just like, okay. But for anybody to have to sit there and for it to be looked at, you're crazy, instead of it, well, maybe I'm not as great of a cook to the 7-year-old as I would probably be with others, And I kind of, my ex-husband will call and ask me, what does he eat? And I would tell him, cook this, cook that. And I'll even give a recipe. I would text out recipes. And I think that his wife refuses to try to learn how to cook it. And it's just like, I don't know if this is an ego thing but it's just like, bro, not everybody's gonna like your food. And on top of that, you didn't birth him, so it's just like, of course, he's gonna have a more of a maternal um, bond with his parents, like especially with his mom. So it's one of those type of things that I cook things that I know my child's a picky eater, and I know it's like I try to as much to introduce new things to Oliver, and try different techniques to kind of get him engaged, so this way he kind of wants to try it. And it's like hit or miss. Some things he tries and it's just like it's a win, and then some things it's just like, okay, we got to really work on it. But I'm not the type of person that I never was the adult that goes, well, if you don't eat what's here, you don't eat at all. We live in a day and age where a child will go to school and say they haven't eaten anything, and they will write that sucker down in a nice little notepad. And then next thing you know, a social worker is knocking at your door. I don't do that. If my child wants to eat noodles for a week, he will eat noodles for a week, because I know that he's eaten, and he has at least something in his stomach. I don't care if it's an Ensure, whatever it is, he has something in his stomach. He's digesting some sort of form of nutrients, because that's not good. And if you're hungry and you're going to school or you're trying to do activities, you're not going to be able to function. And I've seen my child has been a very picky eater after a certain age, and I've seen him in daycare fade away because he did not want to eat. And it was just like we had to literally up his nutriments, Ensure, all the way up. So he was like drinking that for like meal replacements, because he didn't want to try new foods. And then he finally got over that and he started to eat more. But he's of course, every kid is a McDonald's kid sometimes, and he wants to lean towards McDonald's. But we're trying to wean him off and trying to, have more of an organic, more healthy approach. But it's hard. But I think the emotional side to it, I think it should have to be more of a proactive and a more softer approach, because this kid literally thinks his father hates him or dislikes him. And it's really hard to talk to a 7-year-old and tell him, like, your dad loves you, and your kid is looking at you like, no, he does not. You're lying. And I'm just like, I'm not lying, And what do you tell somebody? It's like I feel like I'm gaslighting them. I'm validating how this little boy feels, and it's just like, I'm so sorry you feel this way. And it's just like, your dad does love you, but I think that your dad, he knows a different form of how he was disciplined and what he feels is correct, and in some cases it worked for some people, so it's just like, there's people that be like, yeah, I got hit with a belt when I was younger and I'm fine, and then there's some people that get hit with a belt and are traumatized. So you never know. It's a hit or miss. But having that talk with my son and really, hugging him through it and wiping his tears and telling him, I will never hit you with a phone. I don't care if it's a little love tap or not. I will never do it, because I know how you feel about that. It's just like, I have to talk to my ex-husband about it, because it's just like, how do we approach this? Like our son is literally looking at you like you don't like him, and we both know you like him. Like, how do we approach this? But it really broke my heart seeing like his whole demeanor change as soon as I hit him with the phone. As soon as I tapped him with the phone, his whole demeanor, like, he just literally started screaming, do not hit me with the phone. I'm just like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, I didn't know I hit you that hard. I'm sorry. Just like, you didn't hit me that hard. Right? My dad hits me hard. He hits me hard. And it really was just like, to have that conversation with my ex-husband, like, bro, your son really thinks like you don't like him. And I think it's like time, like daddy and son time, a lot more. And I don't know, I guess hugs and encouragement. I don't know. But I'm trying my best, and I'm trying my best to keep this little boy grounded in the right direction with a good character, and to be kind and be compassionate, and to reason before action, and have accountability. And how do you do that when you feel like somebody doesn't like you? And I don't want it where it's like pitted, where, oh well, you side with your mom, because I don't want it to be like that. I want both people to be united when it comes to raising this kid. But I have to talk to the ex-husband. I have to tell him that this is what Oliver said. How are we going to help this situation? Because that feeling, and I can guarantee it, that feeling is going to lead to animosity. And that animosity is going to lead to, I'm not going to talk to you about how I feel. Because I've done it. So it's just like, would you rather your kid tell you what's going on with them? Or, I mean, I'm talking about, this is something could be a year from now, 6 months from now, when they're 13, 10, 8, 7. So it's just like, do you want your kid to sit down and talk to you and feel safe enough to talk to you without it being rejection, or however they may take it? I don't know. Because sometimes it's not you. Like, you can be as supportive as possible, what you think is supportive, and to that person, it's not supportive at all. So it's just like really like taking time out to kind of learn that person, learning my kid, learning his kid. Both of us have to pretty much, it's an ongoing thing. We both have to do it. But my boy, when he got that mad, he started crying, like really, really damn near bawling, tears running down my baby's face. And I seen him like a baby all over again. It was just like, wow. Like, you just want to hug the pain away. It's like, I want to hug it out. Because he doesn't see that his father is trying to discipline him, but maybe that's just not the proper way of, the appropriate action for Oliver. So I don't know. This comes down to a culture issue. This comes down, to a human issue. How does a black home, I would say, how does a black home fix this issue? Because I very much have to talk it out. Like, I do discipline. Like, I give a pow when it needs to be a pow, but I talk it out way more than I do that. That's like the last resort. But if it has to be like talks and stern talking tos and taking away things and, no TV or this or whatever it is, and then I try to lean towards those type of things. I feel like people can talk out their emotions. People can talk out, like, you can find out what's going on through talking. Like, you don't have to just beat and say, don't ever do it again. That person, the child may not know what the hell you're talking about. They just think they're getting beat to be beat. Like, I just got beat, I did something wrong, but I don't know why it's wrong. Like, so, or I don't know, the parent doesn't know why the person did it. It could be something with it. It's not even a child's fault. Like, you never know. So I'm one of those kids. One of those parents to those kids. But I've always been that I'm gonna kiss your boo boo when you fall. Like, I've always had a soft spot when it comes to little kids. Ask any little kid. I'll sit there and hug them up, and I don't care if I gotta look like a clown and dance in the middle of everybody and put the smile on the kid's face, and the kid is just like, they think I'm one of them now. But you go down to their level, so you create a relationship with them where they literally start saying all type of stuff to you. Like stuff that like, okay, I think it's again like, yeah, like your mother don't want me to know this type of stuff. Kids have a way of when they trust you, they reveal everything. But I've always had that soft spot for little kids. Now, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking to the 5-year-old me every time I see a kid. But I'm incredibly grandma-ish to kids because I want to see them light up. I want to see them smile, and I don't know. This is hard. This is really hard because I don't know how my ex-husband's going to take this. He may get offended, or he may be like, okay, I'll take it as fine. But I don't know what happens when Oliver goes in that house. He may be on punishment for the rest of the weekend after that. Like, I don't know. So it's really, really hard to do. And it's some other things too that Oliver said that I have not said to my ex-husband about. And it's just like, this is a no-no. Like what your son said, if your son said it to somebody else, you'll be in a whole lot of trouble. So it's just like, what do you say? How do you go about that? And I've spoken to him prior about this, and I don't know. It's like going adult's word against a child's word, and the adult is like, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. And it's just like your child is saying this, like your child is saying this, and the way Oliver reacted tonight, I highly doubt that Oliver's making it up. Like, it really hurt him. Nobody talks that passionately. Nobody just starts bawling, crying that with that much emotion, that much anger and sadness. Like, no kid, no adult does that. There's some truth to this. So it's just like, yeah, hopefully, ex-husband is just like, yeah, it happened. And it's just like, okay, how are we gonna, fix this or whatever, like, or, make it aware so this way you guys have a game plan in order to fix that severed, that little loose end there. But I don't know. I've never been the person that I've always wanted a child to have both their parents and have that bond with both their parents. And I don't know. I've never been the like the bitter baby mother or whatever. I've never been that type. Like, I've always wanted. I have a son. Like, I want my son to have a relationship with his father. Like, I want you guys to be as tight as ever. Like, you go over there whenever the hell you feel like it. You gonna have an argument with your mom and say, I'm going to my dad's house. Okay, bye. Well, at least I know you're safe. I know you're there with love. Like, but I want Oliver to be able to say that. I want Oliver to feel like, I'm going to my daddy's house. Bye. Like, I don't know. I'm the type of person that's incredibly choosy, though, when it comes to my mate. So even if somebody was interested, it literally is just like, I don't know. Because my child has to either be a good fit. Because I have a little boy. And that little boy is going to become a man one day. And I need to know that if that man is going to accept this little boy, and is going to love this little boy, he doesn't have to replace his father, but he will be a man figure in this little boy's life. So I'm incredibly choosy when it comes to that. I don't just go any of the mill or how I feel. I may like the person, but if my son doesn't, then it's something that has to be kind of proactive. I see red flags when it comes to children with a person, then I'm very much like, no, I don't know. That person has to love my son like their own. It has to be mature enough, that sometimes maybe they're not going to get along. That has to be there. Because then who's the adult and who's the child? That man has to know that, there's some things that you guys are going to bump heads on. And his father is in his life, so it can never be that, well, I'm the stepdaddy now. Like, I'm going to take over. Like, you can never take over. You can never take over. It's like no one can ever be Oliver's mom except for me. You could be Mary Poppins, but you still ain't me. So it's just, and it's like, it's quite okay because it takes a village to raise a kid. So it's just like, yo, the platform, it's a platform